Welcome to another edition of In the Crates. I'm Ben Slowey. Joining me this evening um, is a really talented DJ and producer. He co-runs the label and party uh, collective, if you will, Club Ritual. He has a residency at Cactus Club. He just dropped his debut EP on Club Ritual, the first release on the label. And yeah, you can catch him DJing all over the place in Milwaukee. He just started a new party at Mad Planet called Crush. And sitting down with him to talk a little bit about what he does and why he does it. So, Greyhound, thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having me.
You've been killing it lately with just all the shows and the parties this year. Saw that you played Alpine theater this year. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was crazy. Asher, who I run Club Ritual with, he like called me one morning and he's like, "Hey, like this isn't for sure happening, but we just got hit up by thank you. We just got hit up by Fred again's management team and we're going to be opening for him." It was like the Monday before all that. He was like, "We're going to be opening for him on Sunday at Alpine Valley." And I was like, "What the fuck? That's crazy." And like it was I like didn't really even like believe it at first. And then like I remember like we were just kind of waiting all week. I think we waited like 2 days to like get it all confirmed. And like I
Yeah,
kind of fucked up. Like I had already like told all my family and friends and shit about it.
yeah,
And so I was having like mad anxiety. I was like, yo, what if this shit doesn't happen? Like, And then I remember I like went to bed one night. I like straight up like took a Benadryl because I couldn't sleep because I was like, fuck, what if I fuck this whole thing up and it's so embarrassing? And then I like woke up to take a piss and like I had the email on my phone and I was like, whoa.
nice. How'd the show go?
Dude, it was crazy. It was like, um, well, I mean, it was basically sold out, which is like Alpine's capacity is 30,000 people. And like I think the most people I'd ever played to is probably like 3 or 4 thousand. Yeah, so I just didn't know what to expect. And like we got there and like we did the sound check and I was just like looking out at this like massive sea of like seats and shit. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Alpine Valley, but like
I actually haven't. No.
there's like this, it's an amphitheater and there's just this like massive roof that's like 100 feet in the air. And just like looking up at that was just so freaky. And then yeah, and then I like my mom and dad came and they like couldn't figure out how to get backstage. And I was like, I kept telling myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna go out and look at the crowd and like until I'm out there. And I had to go get my mom from the crowd. And I looked out and I was like, oh fuck, that's so crazy. But yeah, when we got up there, like I was tweaking out like crazy hard, like before we got out there, and then we got out there and like the lights are so bright. I could see like the first 4 rows and that was it. But yeah, it was no joke. I couldn't really like gauge like what the temperature was gonna be, and I wore like a fucking long sleeve shirt with a t-shirt over it, and I like got up there and my hands were so sweaty, like trying to wear shit. But it was amazing. It was crazy.
Well, it's awesome, dude. Fuck yeah. Right on. Great to see you doing cool, crazy shit like that.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, you bet. So tell me a little bit about your origins as a DJ. What did you listen to growing up? Like kind of what, and then how did that kind of like make you want to start DJing?
Yeah, no. So I mean, I grew up listening to I had like I kind of had like the perfect musical childhood ever. I had my dad was always very insistent that we had like music playing in the house growing up, and he has just a very eclectic taste. And like, so I really grew up on like Beastie Boys, Zeppelin, Floyd, all that stuff. And then my dad also was super into jungle and drum and bass, but it wasn't like his number one thing, but like I was playing a bunch of video games as a kid and like I remember this video game SSX on tour, which is like the one that doesn't get talked about as much because SSX Tricky is like the famous one that everyone played. But I remember like hearing like Bonobo and like Z Trip and like early Diplo and stuff like that, and being like, damn, electronic music's so sick. And then I would like show it to my dad, and my dad was like, oh, you think that's cool? I'm gonna show you LTJ Bookham. And then I was like listening to like drum and bass and stuff. And then like around that time, I was also like getting into Daft Punk. So I had all these like, different worlds coming together. And that was also the same time of where like I was allowed to go on the computer. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was like on YouTube looking up like music, Daft Punk, just
Yeah.
random shit. And around that time, I just became like obsessed with digging for music on YouTube and stuff. And like, yeah, I think I just got really lucky with like the music that I found on the internet, like just a true internet kid. Like
Yeah.
found like a lot of the music like that I still listen to today, like crazy as shit. I was playing at fucking Boone and Crockett the other night and I played one of the songs from that video game. Like,
Dude, yeah. Like video games are a big source of my appreciation for electronic music too. Like one of
Mhm.
my favorite games was Midnight Club 2. And I remember they had it was a lot of trance music on that
Yeah,
soundtrack, and that's how I remember really enjoying that kind of stuff. And then I played The Sims 2 a lot, and I remember like there was like an expansion pack you could get from The Sims that had like it had a bunch of remixes of like the music, and it was like Lemon Jelly remixes and stuff.
yeah.
And
Okay,
like
word.
cool shit like that. You just find it in really niche places.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I remember like some of the best music and still to this day that I'll ever find is always just like when you least expect it. Like, especially the old YouTube algorithm. Like, I don't know what it was back then, but like, I remember like I found Night Slugs, which was like a huge, like that label, that crew was like so fucking big for me and like completely changed my life because I found like all the cool music that I still listen to today. Like, I would still play all the Night Slug shit that I found when I was like 12, 13, 14, like in all my sets today. Like all that, like, I don't know, just like finding music when you least expect it is always the most special thing. Like,
It really is.
I think that's so important.
It is 100%. Um, so how did that kind of culminate in getting started DJing?
Yeah, so like around that time that I was finding all that music, I found this like YouTube channel of this guy, Glenn Hahn. His story's crazy. Like you should, if you're listening to this, like look up a podcast interview of him because he
Sure.
like in the golden era of like kind of the blog house, not even almost even like pre-blog house, like early Daft Punk, Justice and stuff. He was just like this dude who was from LA who made friends with, all the people from like Ed Banger and stuff. And they like let him run around with a camera on stage. And he's got all these like legendary videos. That he's got like his most popular one is Thomas Bangalter of Daft Punk with the helmet off,
Oh,
DJing
cool.
with DJ Medi and like Busy P and shit. It's crazy. Like, so I like really, around that era, I would watch his videos religiously. And he was like a true archivist. And he just had like, I mean, he's on his like third YouTube channel because he maxed out the uploads on his one. So there's like Glenjamin 2, Glenjamin 3. So I
Damn.
really like just I wanted to get into DJing from watching those videos because I was like, I love this music, but like obviously I was like at that point I was like, I don't know how you perform this stuff live, like all that. And then yeah, at the same time I was trying to like make that stuff too. And you know, still haven't. I still only think I know how to make it now, Like, lifelong lifelong process. But
Oh
that's how
yeah.
the DJ, that guy. He was changing
Um,
my life and he doesn't even know it. My first ever gigs in Milwaukee were there's this little spot it's like you're going down Water Street, you go over the bridge towards Walker's Point, and then there's that intersection where it's like Collectivo, Broken Bat.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about like where water turns into first.
Yeah.
So like there's that intersection. There's like on the right side, there's this like Puerto Rican coffee shop. And then
Yep.
there's the building next to it. it's called like Raven and Blonde, I think now. But before that, it was called Spruce Shop. And it was like this like just very niche like boutique store. And around the time of where I was like, I think it was like either no, I was like a senior in high school. I was like, that's when like Off-White and stuff and like Virgil Abloh, rest in peace, like all like kind of like the hype beast era of like fashion was huge. And like they were carrying all these like cool ass brands. And like me and the like other kids who were into fashion at that time were like, yo, we gotta go to this new store. They're like, they got all the cool shit that we want. And then I was like, I got this idea, this like harebrained idea. I was like, I'm gonna see if I can DJ their opening. Like when they like,
Sure.
there was no reason for them to have a DJ in there. And I just fucking DM'd them and they were just like, yeah, dude, I guess.
That's
I
awesome.
DM'd them and I was like, dude, I'll do it for free. Like, it's all good. And I
Yeah.
think like my first ever payment for a gig was like this ugly ass Comme des Garçons play long sleeve shirt. Which was sick. But that was my first gig in Milwaukee, and I played like three or four more shows after that. They like were after I did the first show, they were just like the kindest people in the world to me. They had this like I got to DJ this crazy Mason Margiela installation there. It was
Cool.
for like a kid who was into fashion but didn't have any money. It was the coolest shit in the world because like they would throw me a little t-shirt. You know what I mean?
Damn, shout out to them. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
No.
pretty that's pretty rad of them to like just be like, yeah, sure, buddy, go for it. And then that ends up becoming
That's
like a
100% what it was. They were like, yeah, just like whatever.
you you play at you have your residency at Cactus Club.
Yeah,
So you play a lot at High Dive, you play at Boone and Crockett. So yeah, just go down the line if you will. Let's hear where just all about your gigs.
yeah. No, I mean, like when I first started to like really get booked a lot, I like my first like introduction to real like DJing in Milwaukee, like consistently in the scene was through the guys, the Home Wreckers, if you know
Oh
them.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I did some shit with them for a while. I played at Garage every Thursday with them for a while, but like that wasn't really like my scene. I think like I was so just entranced by like, damn, I can like play four songs in your set and just get to fucking drink off your tab all night. Like I was like, this is sick. But like I did learn a lot on, in that time frame. That was more like me learning how to like get my technical skills up, which I'm super
Totally.
grateful for. But like, yeah, no, I can't play fucking like throwback pop sets like that.
Right.
It felt pretty soulless for a while, but like that's a whole industry, and I respect people who
Totally.
can do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, like after I got out of that, like that's when COVID happened. And like right when COVID happened, I was like immediately I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna just like if I'm gonna DJ, I'm gonna play the music that I like, I'm very, passionate about or whatever. But like I still didn't know like what that looked like. So in my mind, I was like, you got to get residencies. Like that's how you like do it. Like you just got to like convince a spot to let you be a resident. But now I've like nowadays I've really just tried to unlearn that and like keep my, I'm really lucky now that like I've played so many shows and like made so many connections with people that now it's like I'm getting hit up more than I'm hitting up other people to do shows. So I try to keep my schedule as open as possible and like, just see what rolls in because that's how the Fred thing came in, like
Yeah. It's a lot of serendipity that ends up
yeah,
taking you to the wildest places.
yeah, no, but I mean, yeah, High Dive's like definitely the hub of electronic music in Milwaukee right now. I think, it's like, it's the grimy dive bar spot, but it's always been like a, it feels like it really like hones in on the roots of what this shit's all about. It's like, it's a DIY venue with a liquor license,
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And I think that's why we all love it so much because like, we just text Jason. We're like, hey, we want to do this, this, and this. And he's just like, yeah, all right, sounds good.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So do you guys don't like have like a exactly a residency as Club Ritual there. You guys put on a lot of shows there.
Yeah, so Asher is more of a residency for Club Ritual. Quarters has always been our kind of our home base. Quarters and like Cactus Club have kind of been our like two home bases, leaning more on quarters because like we've always like Club Ritual is more like the River West kind of ethos. Not saying that Cactus Club isn't that, but like, that's just kind of like where, the youth that want to come out and dance are at. It's on, you know, Center Street. And so, yeah, Quarters is like Pete is our fucking boy. He's one of the better people you'll ever meet
Totally.
In the Milwaukee nightlife scene. So yeah, Quarters has kind of been our home there. High Dive, we always do New Year's there. Or we have the past like 3 years. And yeah, now Mad Planet's getting in the mix, which is crazy because like my fucking dad went there growing up. Or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
getting to
yeah.
tell my dad, like, hey, fucking just throwing my own party at Mad Planet now. And he's like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, so tell us about Crush, like this new party that you're doing there.
Yeah, well, Rosemary from Mad Planet hit me up and she's like, yo, like, because I played a kind of crazy, like, full circle moment. I went to high school with this dude, Nate Kinsman, fellow Kinsman.
Oh yeah, Nate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I went to high school with Nate, and him and I kind of grew like pretty parallel in the music scenes, obviously in way different lanes,
yeah.
but yeah, him and I kind of, well, we grew up together and like we were always, him and I literally like from the time we were in like high school, like we were in like a high school art class together and we were like, bro, we should figure out a way to like do something together, but it just like never worked out. And then like a couple years, or no, not a couple years ago, 1 year ago, he was doing this album release show at Mad Planet and he's like, dude, you should just DJ after the bands. And it was like the craziest, it was crazy in there. Like it was one of it, I know I keep saying it was one of my favorite sets, but it was one of my favorite sets in Milwaukee. At that time, it was like probably one of my favorites in Milwaukee. And then yeah, Rosemary was there and all like the bartenders and the people that booked the shit there were there and they were like really impressed with my set. And so, this last weekend was kind of like fake Halloween. Like it's like people still go out, everybody's going out like to wear costumes and stuff. But Rosemary was like, yeah, we're gonna have like a big night and we don't have anything planned. So I was like, I took that opportunity and I was like, fuck it, let's throw a party and we're gonna call it Crush. And it's gonna be presented by Club Ritual, and we're gonna pack the shit out and hopefully we can keep it going. So yeah, I'm not calling it a residency by any means, but I mean, hey, it was great. It was cracking in there. I mean, we opened the doors at 9 and there was probably like 100 people in there by 10. And then it was wall to wall from 10:30 to bar close. Like it was amazing. Yeah. But yeah, Crush is different from Club Ritual though. Cause like Club Rituals, we kind of play the hard shit. And like Crush, we wanted it to be more like kind of disco focused and like kind of the music that blurs the lines between like the 90s Chicago house and like, what was happening in France with like
Yeah.
the whole filter house movement and all that with like Daft Punk and all that shit.
Cool.
But yeah,
Sounds
yeah, because Asher and I, we fucking, man, we, we love that French shit.
like yeah.
Mhm.
This residency you have at Cactus Club too. I know you're doing this like AAA party type
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
So let's hear about that.
Yeah, Kelsey, yeah, I mean, we already talked. Kelsey's the fucking best person ever.
Shout out to Kelsey.
Yeah, the best. She hit me up because they've been doing like, there's been a lot of nights like where there's been just kind of dead space after some of these bands play. And so she was kind of trying to just fill the space. She was like, let's just have these bands play. And then the people that stay after the shows, like, we'll just throw these dance parties. So yeah, she offered me like a little residency kind of thing once a month. Yeah, I called it AAA and I just kind of wanted it to be like, I didn't really have any like thoughts for what I wanted it to be. Like I wanted to like have just a clean slate. I have one night at Cactus Club to do whatever I want with it. And I did first one, I did my good friend Tommy, he's got this magazine called Daybreak Magazine, and like the timing was perfect that he was dropping an issue of the magazine. So I did like a little after party for the release, and it was crazy, so fun. Played my first like open to close at Cactus Club, which was so fun. And then like, yeah, I kind of just do whatever I want on a whim with it. Like I taught a class for one of them. Like
Oh,
I held like an informational like how to make dance music class, and it was sick.
that's
For the-
dope.
Yeah, for the last one of the year, got this crazy concept. This is a in the ITC exclusive right here.
Okay,
Um,
let's get it.
so we're doing a little experiment. We're doing a for the final one of the year. We're doing a little fundraiser, Palestine Children's Relief Fund fundraiser, and we're gonna have 12 DJs all playing at the same time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Holy
So
holy shit. Damn.
it's a B12B, not like all playing a song at the same time, but like we have four CDJs and a four-channel mixer, and we're just gonna do round robin all night. So like you go up, you play two songs, get in the crowd, dance, and then the next DJ
Oh,
comes up.
dude, that's
Just
awesome.
like, you know, someone's probably done that before, but like I've never seen it. So hopefully it fucking works. Like
Yeah, that fucking rules, dude. That's awesome. And yeah, and it's for a great cause too. That so what's the date on that one?
December 14th.
Okay, cool. That
14th, got a little flyer coming soon. It'll be sick. The lineup's already crazy. So got some homies from Milwaukee, some homies from Chicago. It'll be cool.
hey, that'll be the place to be for real.
I'm
Real
saying,
for
man. I'm saying you gotta come shell out a couple bones for a good
I'd
cause.
love to drink some hoppies and get
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
bust some
whatever you need.
moves.
Cactus Club, one of the best menus for sober folks, I will say.
I co-sign that most
Yeah,
definitely. I've been seeing you guys have played Black Cat Alley on the east side a couple
yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's our spot, man. That like so we do summer solstice festival every year. Yeah, we've been so lucky to be able to take over that spot once a year. I mean, that's just like, yeah, I can't even describe how much of a
Such a
privilege.
beautiful pocket of art
Yeah, man.
and it's just off the beat, like right, like just wedged in the middle of like such a like happening area, like
Yeah.
also a I would imagine a great place to have a party.
Yeah, it's like, yo, that's like my second Christmas every year is that date. Like it's man, it's just everything about it. We just have it so dialed now. Like the first one we did, I remember like I didn't know what to expect. Neither of us knew what to expect. Like when they said we were going to be in the Black Cat Alley, we were kind of just like, oh, this is gonna. We're just DJing where people walk in between stages, and like we just had like the little rig out there. We had two K12s and like two little well, like the subwoofers or whatever. And I remember I was on vacation right before that show. I remember I had to play that show the day I got back from vacation, and I was like kind of looking through my music library, and I was like, I'm gonna play music that's like kind of like, like not too jarring for people that are walking past. And man, we had like 1,000 people in that alley
Yeah, yeah.
dancing to our shit. And then so the next year we were like, oh fuck, we rented like this big ass sound system and like we did it right. And it's just been such a privilege to play back there every year. And like last year, this last past year, we just like, man, like the lineup was so good and it was just so dialed and like, oh, I can't even describe how fun that is. Because that's
It,
just like, man,
it's
yeah,
just like quintessential Milwaukee summer.
it's just so East Side, it just feels so
Yeah,
East Side. And that's what I live and breathe is the East Side. So like,
totally.
yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like our little East Side Summerfest,
There you go. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
that's awesome. Yeah, I was bummed I was out of town this year for solstice, but hopefully I can come
Mhm.
come
I gotta say, shout out to the Burchek twins, Jason and Jake Burchek. They are the ones that made that happen for us. the last 3 years. If you know a bird check, there's a lot of shit you can do in Milwaukee, man.
Word. Oh yeah,
if,
yeah. No,
if,
Jason.
if the bird checks like you, you're in good standings.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Um, yeah. No, shout out to those guys. Yeah, Jason. He was really good to us with breaking and entering stuff. Like, love the shows and events he puts on at Cooperage and Boone and
Yeah,
Crocker,
yeah, yeah.
which you also play there too sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I play at Boone more than I love playing at the Cooperage, but Boone and Crockett is like, man, no matter what, I'll be like 90 years old and I'll still want to play in there
Oh
because
yeah,
that's my favorite shit. Like it's such a different kind of DJing because and I love it because I love like I mean I do love like the whole build up and drop of it all and like the hypnot you get into these like roller pockets of sets and stuff, but like there it's just like I'm not there to DJ. I'm there to be ambiance that doesn't stop. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I'm there to be like the tasteful ambiance dealer.
yeah.
And
That's a real treat.
oh man, it's so fun. I just get to play like all my like kind of like, down tempo, sort of like chilled out stuff
Yeah,
that
put on some
listen
air
to.
maybe.
Oh man, I've played all over there. I've played some fucked up shit in there. And like people like, you know. Because sometimes I'll just test my limits in there because I'm like, no one's gonna fucking say anything to me. They don't like the way you're tucked in that building, like they might think I'm like another bartender. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't know who's on the music, and like that's the cool thing about all the bartenders there.
You're like the bartender with the aux cord.
Yeah, exactly. I got this little secluded DJ, and the DJ booth is like so posh back there too. Like it's like super well done. It's like the perfect height.
Mr. Greyhound, how would you describe yourself as a DJ in your own words?
I like to think of myself as fairly eclectic in my sound, but I think the core kind of value is, I like music with swing in it. I really gravitate towards the UK garage sound, the UK garage sound, however you want to say. If you want to say it with the accent or with not.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean that's my shit. That's what that was like the first like dance music that I really fell in love with. Like because like around that era of when I was kind of experimenting with electronic music, I originally found like the golden era of like dubstep, which is not like the Americanized dubstep that we all know, the Skrillex and all that. It was like shit that was happening in South London with DMZ and Forward and all those crazy parties. But like that music came out of UK garage, like two-step garage and stuff, and that kind of shit like I mean, I just did a retro dive back and I found all this stuff because I'm like, oh, this is like house music, but it's like house music's kind of off kilter cousin from the UK. You know what I mean? Like it's so soulful and just like, oh, it's beautiful. But there's like that's the cool thing about garage is like there's like a pocket of it's a subgenre already, but there's literally a pocket for anyone. You know what I mean? Like I don't care who you are, I could find a song that would be considered garage that you would like. You know what I mean? Like it's so beautiful. So I love that and like I really like old Chicago house music, due to where I'm from and all the shit in New York, like early New York shit because garage happened because the UK guys were trying to imitate the New York guys in that era. Like, man, I just love dance music, bro.
Yeah, man. We all gotta dance more, especially these days. You really gotta just move and groove. Like we're all under so much stress all the time. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
necessary. Club Rituals, a label releasing music now, and you were the debut release. Yeah, like you want to share a little bit about the EP and just this new operation?
Yeah, so I mean, like I told you earlier, I'm calling this like my debut release because I mean, I'm like kind of went through like a little rebrand, kept the same name, obviously, but like I told myself I was just gonna like keep making music over and over and over again until I was making songs that could stack up with any song in my music library.
Yeah,
And I mean, I went through like 8 different iterations of this EP, and like I really got to thank my mentors. I got to thank Will Mitchell, Liquid City Motors, and I got to thank Richard Galling, and I got to thank Asher and my boy Curtis, who's also my sponsor. Shout out Curtis. But yeah, I mean, it just took me like months and months and months of making so much music and doing nothing but making music, and then finally getting to a point of where I was like, all right, I'm gonna do two songs. I'm gonna do, two songs that just fully encapsulate like what I want to hear when I go out. And yeah, like the Cost of Living and Will FM are the tracks that made it out. One, the Cost of Living's like it's like a kind of a blend. It's like I love this like hard groove kind of like tribal techno sound that's like, from the 90s and stuff, and like, kind of just encapsulates like I just love like chaotic percussion and
Yeah.
stuff. Just wanted to like take as much chaotic percussion and like, harness it all into one, but still have that like 4/4 garage swing to it with like just disgusting subwoofer melting bass line. And then the second one was kind of like the B side of that EP is Will FM, and that's kind of just like taking like the first music that I ever like really fell in love with, which was like that two-step dark garage mixed with like the golden era of like dubstep. Just
Yeah.
wanted to have that on there, and I think I just really wanted both tracks to be super functional on the dance floor. Like I just wanted like, someone scrolling on Bandcamp, find that and be like, oh, I'm gonna play that this Saturday because it works.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
stuff.
so that was a big mouthful.
Oh, no, no. I appreciate you sharing all that. Yeah, it's a great EP. That all said, my last question for you is just what are some upcoming gigs you got that you'd like to plug?
Yeah. Let me pull up the calendar. Throughout November, got a couple Boone dates, and then we got Club Ritual on November 23rd at Quarters, and then Asher and I are heading up to Minneapolis, playing two gigs there, and then I come back and I play in Madison the next week. So got a lot going on.
Yeah, you're making your rounds. That's what I think is cool about you, and this is because like you get comfortable in a lot of different like pockets of the scene. And that's a really awesome, like well-rounded way to be. And it sounds like your show at Cactus on December 14th will be great too. And yeah, man, it's cool to see you killing it. I wish you the best with all your upcoming gigs and with your future output and stuff. And yeah, man, just keep keep doing you, man. You're killing
Hey,
it.
no, I appreciate it. You keep doing you, man. I'm
Uh,
always rooting for you.
Ditto. Back at you.
Oh yeah,
Well,
bro.
yeah, and thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Folks want to follow you on Instagram to keep up with shows and stuff. What's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Greyhound, like the bus, but two times. You can check out my Bandcamp. It's Greyhound in it, Greyhound INNIT. I'm on. If you want to play games, bro, I'm on Xbox. Greyhound Mate. What else? I think that's it.
Right on. Hey, there you go. Go. Yeah, play some Xbox with
Play some Call of
Greyhound.
Duty with me.
Yeah, play some Xbox with Greyhound. Go to some Club Ritual shows. Get out and dance on the weekends. You can find this guy all over the place. And yeah, thank you for tuning in to In the Crates. Once again, I'm Ben Slowey, and we will see you next time.